Ladies and gentlemen, KocoSports.com is back for another NXT review. Of course, I am the sexiest man on all of Internet Wrestling Radio. Boom Boom here, shaking the room live from Richmond, Virginia. And of course, join me there way across the pond. The man hopped up on Pepsi and Pop Rocks, talking about none other than LK. Join us live from the shed. What's up, buddy?
It's not a shed. It's the KocoSports UK headquarters. Okay, it's the office. You know, there's office stuff going on over there. Clearly. Besides the alcoholic beverages, apologies about that. Let's quickly move over there to get them out of the way. But yeah, good to be back from NXT review. It feels like I haven't watched NXT in what feels like an eternity.
Yeah, it's been
I don't know about you, because unless I review it, I don't watch it. And it literally feels like I haven't watched NXT in ages. And, you know, instant inventory, win, loss, tie in the comments. I'm going to give this I gave Lucha a win. So I'm going to give this a win too, because I really did enjoy this show. What do you give it? So everyone, check out the Lucha Underground review, and Booms gave Lucha a tie. So let's see what Booms gives the NXT.
I give it a win.
You give it a win too. So you prefer, if there was a war between Lucha Underground and NXT, if someone put a gun to your head and said, what would you prefer to watch on Wednesday, January the 11th, 2017, you would say you prefer to watch NXT over Lucha Underground.
Yes. For this particular week, yes.
Well, that's what happened. You know, that you're the reason why Lucha Underground is no longer on the air for 6 months, because the wrestling gods bestowed upon Booms the opportunity to close one show. He heard that Booms gave this show a win, and Lucha a tie. So Lucha Underground is off the air for 6 months. So everyone can send their hate mail to booms@fannypants@gmail.com. What was the website that Dave always used to say?
Dave made up boomboomandstockings.com. And it's like he was waiting for somebody just to buy that domain name.
Oh, that was brilliant. Boomboomsandstockings.com. Yeah. So that's the sponsor of this show, as well as KocoSports.net. Booms, let's get breaking this one down, because it's very late my time and it's very late your time, and I'm sure everyone wants to go off to bed.
Yeah, they would love to here, but let's start it out. The first thing that they do is, after they go on the air, by the way, I should mention that this is the first actual show of 2017. This is not a recap. This isn't like, okay, here's a replay of some house shows that we did in Osaka. No, this was the first TV taping that they've done in 2017, so they returned to Full Sail University, and what of a hell of a way to kick it off. Billie Kay and Peyton Royce beat the shit out of Asuka. She was headed to the building. Billie Kay confronted her. She was jumped from behind by Peyton Royce. They beat her up against a van, threw into it repeatedly, dumped a cup of water on her head, kicked her and said, and there you go. And walked up, and I said, holy shit, that's a good way to kick off the show. That's a good way to kick off 2017. That's amazing. I got some thoughts on this. I'll explain that a little bit later, but I think that was a great way to kick off the show. Very intense. The only thing I didn't like about it was there were obviously some people like right there off to the side, and they just sat there and watched. I mean,
I've got that one.
It's like, dude, maybe it's just the Southern gentleman in me, but if I see like two women beat up on one woman and she's practically helpless, I'm gonna step in. I'm gonna get on my phone. I'm gonna call the cops. I'm not just gonna stand there and be like, oh no, oh my god. And then when they're done, hey, somebody should call a doctor. Fuck, that's on my own complaint, but I like the beginning.
I like it too. My complaint is exactly the same as yours. But at the start of the show, I was meant to bring up, I was asked by an Instant Infantry member, America the Great, on the Lucha Underground comments, post live, he or she asked a question to you, and I didn't know the answer. At first I thought it was a joke, but he or she said no. So live on air right now in front of the whole world, this was the question. Are you ready for this question?
Yes, I'm ready.
This is quite strange. Okay, do you go fishing?
Do I go fishing? I have been fishing in my life. I don't do it now, not because I don't like it or not because I don't want to. It's for several reasons. One, I've got to go get a license for that. Two, I'd have to go get gear because I don't have any. I don't know where my fishing gear is. It vanished after my parents got divorced, and I don't know where where my fishing gear went. So I'd have to get new gear. And I live in a small apartment, so I don't have any place to put it, and I don't want to rent out like a storage locker. So right now, I do not but maybe that's something that'll change once I get a house. But as of right now, no, I do not go fishing. But yes, I do enjoy it.
Okay, there you go. Sorry. Then now the person can sleep at night. I would have felt bad if I didn't ask, and I put it on the top of my page. But back to the original thing, I did like Billy Kay and Peyton Royce, and as I come closer before any of my family here, if I'm shouting too loud, Peyton Royce is officially, you have Sexy Star as your internet wife. Okay.
Yes. Oh yes, yes. There's a shirt
Peyton
about
Royce
it.
is my. There is. Peyton Royce is my internet wife. It's just, it has to be said. Peyton Royce is my internet wife. If Booms gets one, I get one, and she's my internet wife. Let's hope it'll be typical, isn't it? The only show fucking my family watches this one, and they'll be fucking banged on the head. Oh, you're not going in there tonight. Why? Oh, you might see your internet wife. I highly doubt it. But yeah, Peyton Royce, if you're listening, what is it the hipsters say these days? What was it? Slide into the DMs. What is it the hipsters say? I'm so out of touch. I have no idea what people say. I'm guessing that's what they say.
Keep it on the DL, I guess.
DL, that means down low, correct?
Yes.
Oh, look at me. I'm fucking on fire tonight. I'm on fire. Let's get on with this tag match with my internet wife and some Australian bird.
Okay, this immediately went to a women's tag team match. You had Royce and Kay taking on Maisie Evans and Sarah Bridges. This was actually a pretty decent match. The Aussies had to, by the way, they said something about Australian Femme Fatales. I actually kind of like that for a tag team name for them. I would like to call them the Femme Fatales. So it's just a random thing there, but that's actually a pretty good tag team name, and I would like to. I hope they get. But they went back and forth. Had some good spots in there. I like the use of like the distraction where it looked like Peyton Royce was going to interfere. This kind of got their opponent offhand. Was looking behind her. This allowed Billy Kay to go in and get the jump. They had a great one. I like their finishing maneuver. It's like kind of like a face buster onto the knee. It's more like a bulldog, actually, more than a face buster. A bulldog onto the knee. That tag team maneuver. They get the pin. They get the win. They grab the microphone. So they now run the women's division on NXT. And basically saying, what do you think about this for competition? Asuka comes out of the back. 3 referees are trying to hold her back. She goes in there. She's jumped immediately by the Australian girls. They start putting the boots to her. And then Nikki Cross, of all people, comes in, fights off Kay and Royce, that runs them off. She climbs to the top rope. It looks like Asuka's going to go running to go. She throws out the referee. She's just livid. It looks like she's about to go out and go run after Peyton Royce and Billy Kay, but she catches a drop kick from Nikki Cross, and Nikki Cross, just hammers her and left her laying out. And immediately they go backstage. They catch up with Nikki Cross, and she says that she's taking the women's title, and kept saying the word taking, and Eric Young said, remember, we told you we're taking everything, and it starts with this. So I think it was a really well done segment. And you know what I said out loud during this segment? I said, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we've got us a women's division now.
Plus Ember Moon, who isn't involved in this, and then there's the Aloha, whatever the fuck her name is, who was on SmackDown the other week.
Yeah,
you got her as well. It's a decent looking division.
You got I'm not a fan of her, but Liv Morgan, you got to throw her name out there. So that's
Roadman. Yeah, carry on.
So we got her. So it looks like NXT starting to recover. And what I hope they do here is I think they may have found the out for Asuka, because Asuka's Asuka's undefeated. But you got to think, man, they've got to call her up. You've got to. I think at this point you've got to. Does she wind up on SmackDown? Does she wind up on Raw? I don't know. But it's like, how do you, you just can't have her forfeit the championship. You just can't have her carry the NXT championship over on, on one of the main brand shows. So why not? And maybe I'm giving, spoilers, foreshadowing to things ahead. Why not put her in a multi-man match and, something like a 3-way, 4-way, someplace where the champion is at disadvantage, and then you don't have to, then she can lose her championship without losing the match. So that gets the title off of her. It keeps her undefeated streak intact, and she can, go up the undefeated champion, undefeated former champion up on the main roster.
I mean, they could do that. I still want to see Ember Moon versus Asuka before Asuka moves up. I want to see that. I think that she'll go up after Mania. I think she'll go up the night after Mania. She'll lose the belt or championship, whatever the fuck Vince McCollum wants to call it, to Ember Moon at NXT Orlando. That's what I think they can do.
Okay.
But your scenario is wait, and as long as my internet wife gets hold of the belt, I don't really mind.
And that could be another thing. Some people, I think it's over here in the chat room. By the way, thank you for joining us. D-Rock says, I think Peyton is going to turn on Billy. Maybe that's something that could happen. Or get this. Imagine this. They keep saying this belt's going to belong to us, because they did that with Lay Cool back in the day. Remember Layla L and Michelle McCool? And they basically took like a women's championship belt and basically cut it in two, and it was kind of like, like a little bestie's little locket, and they put it together, and they were like the women's champion together. I could picture them doing something like that, and here's how that advantage would come into mind is, now if you could put egos aside, here's what you could have. You could have that multi-women match, and just out of nowhere, you just have either Peyton or Billy pin one another. It doesn't matter which one, and they win.
Yeah, I mean they could do that, and they probably will do. I don't really know. I don't think they'll get the belt. I generally think they're going to give it to Ember Moon, but maybe they're going to give it to Nikki Cross. And then the whole of I forgot what their name is. The whole of those dodgy geezers with Eric Young and the other guy. Sanity, that's the names.
Mm-hmm.
When all of Sanity, I think they're going to collect belts. So I wouldn't be surprised if it'll be Eric Young versus Bobby Roode or Nakamura at the next takeover, and then Big Amo and the other guy, Alexander Wolf, I think his name is, for the tag belts.
Yeah, Big Damo, I think he got a name change.
Oh God, what do they call him? Big Cock.
I'm gonna have to look. Stall for time real quick. Let me go look it up.
Stall for time. I just did a WWE 205 live review for my Patreon pledges. So you can Patreon as little as $1 per month, and you get exclusive podcasts from myself, including reviews, and I also actually talk about my life. So if you're interested in that sort of shit, links in the description box below. LK's Patreon. Hit me up. Love you lots. Booms, you found what the Triple HHH is called?
Yes, Killian Dane.
Oh my God.
Where
did they get the? Did they go on Name Generator and just type in random shit on the internet? Like Oni Lorcan and Jonathan Cruz, like Mackie Evans. Like what the fuck are they sponsored by McDonald's for that show? Mackie Evans. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And plus, I mean, when Eric Young Nikki Cross made that statement, I mean, there was, I guess now Killian Dane, I guess he's just kind of sitting in the corner, just kind of watching them, trying to join, I guess, so they're continuing that. I love that. They're continuing that storyline. They're starting a new storyline. I mean, good God, it's all over the place. It's so great. It's such great consistency. I love it. Next year, we had a squash match. Elias Sampson, he destroyed Jonathan Cruz. Actually, I don't know if that's really factually accurate, because Cruz actually got in some offense, got in multiple pins, reversed a few moves, but ultimately got defeated by Elias Sampson. And I look at Elias Sampson, and I know he got a lot of heat. I know Wrestling and Ranton put him on his, basically put him on the shit list, worst wrestlers. I really don't think that's fair. Elias Sampson, I don't know what it is. He's just missing something. I think he's got all the elements. I mean, he's got a good physique. He's got a pretty good gimmick. I mean, he's got that guitar thing where he starts singing. It drives the audience insane. They boo the hell out of him. He's got a mean streak in him, but he's just missing just something. And I just can't put my finger on it. What is he miss? I think if he could have a
confidence.
Good, if he could, I think if he could have a good program.
He looks scared out there. He looks like they're eating him alive, which they're doing, and he generally seems scared. So if he just settles that, like towards the end, he felt like when he was answering them back and getting even more heat, I think that's him getting a bit comfortable. Like, he's really got to get used to it, and this touring will really help with that.
Yeah, I just think
like he just needs to get comfortable. And I tell you what, on my notes here, I actually put like no word of a lie. I thought I was going to come out here and you were going to bury my ass for putting Elias Sampson over. I really enjoyed this, and I really, really like Elias Sampson. I do not understand the hatred for this man, but keep booing, and let him get more comfortable.
I think it's even worse when Corey Graves, of all people, who's like the heel announcer, buries him too. I mean, it's like the equivalent of JBL burying you over on SmackDown.
It's like JBL burying the Ascension. Look where the Ascension is now, give or take unemployed.
Yeah,
I actually like him. I'm glad you like him too, because I was worried I was going to get bashed by everyone.
I mean, I don't hate him. He's just missing something. I think a good program and a signature match would really help him out. Just that one. He doesn't necessarily have to win the feud, but he just needs to have that one good match. And I think that could really get. I think he just needs to get some traction, and it'll put him over the top. All right, next here, this was actually a pretty good match here. Andrade Cien Almas took on Oni Lorcan.
Horrible name.
This was actually pretty good. Lorcan was just putting the damn wood to him.
Right, I'm going to say something here which is going to get me in trouble.
All right.
Oni Lorcan, not only have I put over Elias Sampson, Oni Lorcan is a magnificent wrestler. He has no character. He's in WWE, the land of sports and entertainment. He needs to work on that character. He has to have something. What's his character? He comes out and goes, no, he needs a character. Like, I think he's a great wrestler.
Yeah, this is not a character. It's just, to me, Lorcan, first of all, he chose that name himself. That's not even a name, but he chose it himself. I don't know. There's got to be some story behind this. And if I would like to corner this man and be like, you have to tell me the story behind this name. It's driving me crazy. How did you come up with this? Is there nothing behind it? Is there something behind it? Is there a joke? Is it an inside joke? Is it a family joke? What is it? I want to know. But no, he can actually wrestle. But right now, his gimmick is he's pasty white. It looks like he always just shaved, and he does this, go into the ring. And now when he goes, he can go. This guy, I think he could really be a star, and I don't know what's holding him back. Why is he not in the mix? Why is he not up there in the mix?
Like, just because you're you could be the best wrestler in the world, but if you don't have a character, you're not going to get over. Like, I'm not saying he's not over, because the crowd there in Full Sail cheer for him because he's a good wrestler. In WWE, when he came out, he would be like the wrestlers in 205 Live. Those 205 Live guys, there's no characters. They're just a bunch of wrestlers. And they're developing those characters, which they're doing pretty well. And in the end of the day, if you're just a wrestler, there's plenty of them everywhere around the world. He needs something to stand himself out, not just being a good wrestler. A good wrestler will not cut it. If Finn Balor wasn't the demon, if he wasn't as just brilliant as he is, if he was just Finn Balor and he just came out, he didn't do that, he didn't connect with the audience, yeah, it's just a wrestler, isn't it? Like, he needs something to stand out. Maybe give him time and he might come out of his shell a little bit, and there's no charisma from him. He's like a vacuum. Like, he's a great wrestler. I don't want to sound like I'm burying the guy, but can someone back there please give him a character? Because he doesn't have one. And if anyone in the comments says that he has one, I refuse to hear it, because he does not have one. And it's sad, because he is a great wrestler. And this was a very good match between two great wrestlers. Yeah. Look at Almas. Almas' character is a cocky, arrogant cunt, stuck up, thinks he's entitled to everything because of his Mexican heritage. That's a character. Logan.
Yeah, he's basically, he's doing Los Ingobernables there, which is perfect. Ever since he turned heel and he started doing that, it's clicked. It's finally clicked for him, and he's finally going somewhere. So I'm very happy for Almas on this. This is I like the take on this character.
Me too, because we were worried that he'd go back to Mexico, didn't we? We were worried about 6 months ago before he turned heel.
Yeah,
we
when he was face, he had nothing going. He had absolutely nothing and booking didn't do him any favors either. They took a guy that was new, they were trying to get over, and immediately they put him up there against Ty Dillinger, which is somebody the fans at Full Sail like, and then they turned around and they put him in a feud against Bobby Roode, and it's like that's a no-win situation for him.
I do agree. They tried they thought he could get the rub from Rude, but it just didn't work.
Absolutely, But hey, he's got something. He had a good interview afterwards. You know, he told everybody, this year it's going to be different. No more Mr. Nice Guy. No more mistakes. And as cheesy as it may seem, I like it when wrestlers scream back at the audience to shut up. And because they're interacting with the audience. That's what I like. Because. It kind of gets the audience more into it because, I'm saying something, and he may not hear exactly what I'm saying, but I'm yelling something. But if he looks, my general direction says, you shut up, oh, he heard what I said. It's getting to him. Oh, I'm going to yell at him more. That's, I love that.
Gets you more heat in the long run. That little thing there could have gotten so much heat in the long run. I agree with that. But good match. I did enjoy it. He got the win with like a variation of a DDT. It was okay, but Law can just work on a character or something. That's all I can really say.
Yeah, but hey, I expect good things from him because I think he's a good wrestler. Let's see. Next, they had a quote unquote I hate it when WWE's like exclusive interview. Well, no shit. They're under contract by you. If they don't talk to you, I would be a little fucking concerned. All right, so you had Shinsuke Nakamura. He sat down, talked about it. He's glad that his feud with Samoa Joe is finally over with. He thinks, highly of Bobby Roode. And then, he knows that he wants to be the champion, but he's not going to let him. And then Philip said, well, Roode refused to show up here for this, but he told me to give this, and he handed him the ticket from NXT TakeOver Dallas. That's the event where Nakamura debuted. And Bobby Roode was there watching as a guest in attendance, and I think that's when they were hammering out, backstage like contract negotiations and everything. So they're a good message there. But I'm looking forward to seeing something new from Nakamura. And I'm wondering, do you just go ahead and call up Nakamura after Mania, or do you leave him down there just a little bit longer?
I mean, if you got Roode as your champion. You got Dillinger as your babyface. They could do Roode and Dillinger again over the summer for the title. That big title win. And then have Roode go up.
Yeah, believe it or not,
Dillinger
was actually, I heard, was somebody on the short list to get called up too.
Yeah, I mean, he could get called up. Who knows? I think before you get called up, you should have at least an NXT title run. I really, really do. But then, with that being said, you can't have everyone be champion and then the belt will mean nothing. But
exactly.
Nakamura's English, very, very improving very quickly. That made me, because you guys know I come on here and I bitch and moan about the language barrier. Well, I slaughter English myself, but I said Nakamura won't get over on the main roster. I've been saying this for about a year now. He won't get over because of his lack of English skills. That was good English. I understand every word he said.
Mm-hmm.
I know it was a sit-down interview, so it's a lot more different. It was very good, and I understood it. I understood what he said. All positives from Nakamura's end.
Now, are you ready to talk about it?
Go. It wasn't as good as TakeOver.
No, you're not going to beat. By WWE's own standards, it was the match of the year.
How bad is it? How bad is it on WWE's website that the developmental brand got the match of the year? The guys who are not good enough to be on the main roster yet are having the match of the year. It just says everything. Even their own website team are like, fuck it, just pray Vince doesn't look at it. Jesus Christ. Pray Vince doesn't look at it, or pray one of the wrestlers in the match have Samoan relatives, otherwise they're fucked.
Okay, but so we're going to do it one more time. DIY versus the Revival. This was, these two teams are incapable of having a bad match. These two teams put it all out there. They went after Gargano's knee. Gargano, to his credit, did a great job of selling, limping around. Dash and Dawson, absolutely desperate to win the championships back, doing double teams, cutting the ring off, distracting the referee. I love the hot tag in there with Johnny Gargano. He locked on his submission hold on Dash. Managed to barely get out of that, but eventually they had one hell of a finish, and I think it was a perfect ending for this rivalry. So they had them both in the ring, and they just set it up where they did that super kick running knee finisher on both members of the Revival, just right there in the middle of the ring. I love how they set that up, how they pulled that off, and they both, pinned the Revival, 1, 2, 3. I mean, that was the perfect end. I think that was the perfect ending for this feud.
Revival need to get called up. So sorry to cut you off.
But no, they're getting called up. I mean, I think that's a foregone conclusion. I think you have to. After tonight, you have to.
So the Wyatt family on SmackDown imploded, and Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt, we don't know what's going on. Okay, so are they going to feud? They lost the tag title match. That's worthless now. So they're going to do their program. Who's next to challenge for the SmackDown Live tag titles? There's no hints to it. Could be. It could be the Revival.
It could be wrong. Because stop me if I'm wrong, but isn't if you have the Wyatts, implode, the only other heel tag team you've got on there right now with credibility would be the Usos.
Yeah, and they're doing what? They're just trying to find somewhere in their heritage that they're Samoan to give to Vince to get a tag title belt. Like are the Usos Samoan? Of course they're Samoan. They're over on fucking Vince's. Yeah. Dude, that's sad. So what they could do is they could do anything. Just the Revival at the Rumble makes sense because think about it. The fans at the Rumble are going to be the smart. I'm not going to call them marks or IWC. That word makes me want to spew in my stomach. They're going to be smart, hardcore fans. They're going to know the product. They're going to know NXT. Most of them probably went to NXT TakeOver the night before. So the Revival at Rumble in front of hardcore fans will get a better reaction compared to Revival on a Monday Night Raw or a Friday or SmackDown Live in front of a crowd that don't know who they are. Because if they come out and they get a massive pop, the casual viewers will see that and think, big pop? Who are these guys? That's a great reaction, and they'll pay attention. If they come out on SmackDown Live to no reaction, I'll think, who are these guys? Like American Alpha, I don't think they've still connected properly with the main roster audience yet. I think we're still waiting for that. They haven't properly connected with the audience yet. It's happened to Apollo Crews. It's happened to loads of them. They just need to be debuted properly, not just randomly. No, they have to have a fucking plan for these people. But I don't think they should win the tag title straight off, though.
No, they shouldn't. But when they get called up, I should say, as much as I'm a pro SmackDown guy, I honestly think the Revival would probably work better on Raw. And let me tell you why. Because if you move them over to Raw, one, you get to see them wrestle Enzo and Big Cass again. And there's a history right there because that was the only team that Enzo and Cass never could beat. And they had this feud. They never could beat them. They never could win the tag team championship. So there's an automatic story right there. And two, how as serious as the Revival is, how would you like to see them feud with the New Day?
I think that could really help them in the long run. I think that really could help them. But yeah, they could do that. Either way, as long as they get called up, I'll be happy because these guys deserve to make big money. They deserve to make big money.
And you know how I know that this feud between the Revival and DIY is over? Because as soon as the match is over, DIY gets jumped by the Authors of Pain from behind. They absolutely just destroyed the champions right there. And I'm thinking title change at TakeOver. TakeOver in San Antonio.
Yeah, they should do. They really should do. I'll be shocked if they don't.
Because I think Authors of Pain, man, I mean, they're undefeated. It's insane. Then, if you have that, who the hell are you going to have to? I mean, that's the thing. If they win, who challenges them? They have nobody left. They
can have a rematch with DIY, TM61. TM61.
TM61's dead. They're
Yeah,
dead.
but they could do something, and
They
I
exist,
can't
but
really name you another thing.
They exist, but they're dead inside. Trust me.
I can't really give you another name of a team. That's pretty bad, considering we just came off the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, and I can't name you a team. That's pretty poor. They got Sanity. They could do Sanity versus Authors of Pain. I can't really name you another team. That's pretty bad, isn't it, really? But then they were at Regal's office, and Regal announced Asuka versus all three attackees and DIY.
Well, actually, that's the thing. Regal announced that after seeing that ambush, he announced, okay, you know what? They want it so bad, we're going to give it to them. DIY versus Authors of Pain at San Antonio. Next week, we're going to do a contract signing between Shinsuke Nakamura and Bobby Roode. And then Asuka just barged into his office demanding, she just said, make the match for title, for TakeOver. And Regal said, against who? And she screamed, all of them.
Good.
Asuka versus the world. I thought that was the best way to go off. I mean, it started off with Asuka. It ends with her just pissed off going, you know what, fuck it. I don't care how many you put in front of me. I'm taking them all on. I love it.
Yeah. We'll get some live comments. D-Rock says he'll give it a win. D-Rock says, I think Peyton is going to turn on Billy. Yeah, because I'm going to go manage her.
Mm-hmm.
Florida has no Southern California.
Well, that is factually true.
Evie is D-Rock's internet wife. They're not starting a women's tag team division anytime soon. Thank fuck. Gary North says, "Can I have Peyton and Billy in a Vegemite sandwich? Sanity will interfere." Gary North says, "Sanity will interfere and Nikki will win." D-Rock says, "The reason why I think Peyton will turn on Billy is going on to turn on Billy is because they have had an epic dude in Australia. Look up Jesse McKay versus Casey Cassidy." That's obviously a match between those two in Australia. Yeah, actually, that's a great shout. That's a good match. I'm going to look that up later on, actually, because I have no problem watching more Peyton Royce. That being said, if they do have great chemistry and can have great matches, why can't that be a good program? Especially over the title. I would have no issue with that. Eric Ewalk from... I keep saying Eric for some really fucked up reason. Ewalk from Endor says, in your opinion, will TNA overtake NXT in quality and ratings?
You're comparing apples and oranges. NXT is not on television, so you can't measure it in terms of numbers like Nielsen Ring, because it's only for people who subscribe to the WWE Network. As far as quality goes, that's just going to be a matter of opinion. And
yeah,
by the way, it's good to see you. By the way, it's good to see you back, Ewok. He's one of the KocoSports originals. When me and Koco got back together and said, "Okay, we're going to do this like WrestleAM thing again. We're going to put it on YouTube." It was him and Stairway to Zeppelin. They were like the two people we were like broadcasting to every week. I mean, that was it. It was just those two. That was it. And the audience started growing there. So Ewok's got a special place in my heart.
He always put. I've seen him at a wrestling show. Booms. I saw him at Rev Pro a few years ago.
Oh, nice.
I think it was just before I joined full time for you guys. I think it was about late 2015. He then says, sorry, I know Gary North said, I don't want to cut Gary North off there. He says, TNA is definitely going to have more stability this year. And then Ewok says, stability equals better. I fucking so agree. Now the company cannot worry about political shit and focus on producing a good weekly television show, which me and Booms will be reviewing tomorrow, or Andy Paps will have a heart attack. Ewok says, WWE need competition, and Nakamura for WrestleMania is money. Agree on all of those. WWE do need competition. Hopefully that's what New Japan Pro Wrestling provides them this year, or at least in like a few years' time. So Booms, you want to actually I'll promote and then you can promote. So tomorrow we've got our TNA Impact Wrestling review. Friday I'll do some kind of review. Saturday and Sunday we've got the WUK Championship tournament reviews, and then Monday Raw, etc., etc. So lots to look forward to. Merch link in the description box below. Patreon link, description box below. Suck my cock down there. Booms. You show them why you're the best salesman in the business.
Be sure to check us out at KocoSports.com, KoCoSports.com. It's your home for combat sports. It's where the world goes to kick ass, and most importantly, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. Be sure to like, subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We're cranking out videos. As LK just said, we're going to have a special coverage of the WWE's UK tournament coming up this weekend. Also, we're going to start all over again with Monday Night Raw. Of course, we'll continue to carry on our reviews of Raw, SmackDown, NXT, TNA. Hopefully we can take two. We can work in some Ring of Honor, maybe some Evolve, and some other little indies. That's one of the things we're trying to do. New Japan, I've got a subscription to New Japan World now, so I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm going to try to get some more New Japan reviews coming up in the near future.
Yeah, and check out, I did a Full Impact Pro review on Sunday. So if you didn't realize it was there, just literally, if you're like, oh, what should I watch? I have a spare half hour to an hour. Literally, always just click the channel. There will be something for you to watch every single day. If you only watch us post live, which I know a lot of you do, literally just scroll down. Sometimes you'll be shocked at what you find. Like a Full Impact Pro, New Japan coverage. I'm doing a Pro Wrestling Noah review in a few days, continuing the Monday Night War series. This channel is the place to be. Subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe. Booms. Wrap this bad boy up.
Well, thank everybody for joining us. And, well, the boom just went bang, and I am out.